Greetings, hello, sweet ones. Thank you for being here. Hello, Millie, love, beautiful love. Hello, Victor. Victor, victorious, wonderful. When it said connecting, I read funny things. It said I read consecrating, so that's okay. We can consecrate the space with absolute love and divinity and sacredness, and what a time to be alive. Such a privilege to be alive. Yeah, I've actually had no internet for a while. It happens even in Germany. They broke the cable. They were doing work on the roads and they broke the cable. Trista, hello, my love. I love the purple hair and the purple friend. It's amazing how, yeah, and I love friends like that you don't see for ages and you just kind of pick up and you know that you're one together. You've just been following this similar path. Isn't it just wonderful? Yeah, yeah, what wonderful. Wow, golly, so much energy. I'm just literally wading through, swimming through stuff. Anyway, let us just light a beautiful aroma to the Holy of Holies and bring in all things beautiful, all things bright and beautiful, and all creatures great and small, and all things wise and wonderful. The Holy Mother made them all. So it's a whole new flipping creation. So grant us the space. Thank you for the space. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for the divine beings around us. I call in definitely the Christ energy and the Syrian Council. And whichever galactics you feel like having around your space right now, guys. Every day, anybody's welcome. As I always said, anybody's welcome in my house if they come from a space of love. So my home used to have from all religions. People were very confused. Yeah. So just seal the space. Your blessed beloved, you West. Oh my goodness, have I been diving all over the place? Sometimes I don't think I've come up. So let's just seal and protect through the power of Ganesha and the power of the Devas and of the awakening energies, these new emerging truths based on ancient wisdom. May they be protected and may the truth come forth. Yeah. And may we hear and may we demand truth. Yeah. So be it, so be it, so be it. You're still alive, Millie. That's okay. You just shared energy. Gross. Could have been worse. I've had that one. It's gross. Just get over it quickly, Millie. You can go and rinse your mouth out with boiling water now, but I think it's kind of done. Put Millie in an extra special bubble of protection and no worry. Oh, golly. Very nice, clear energies here. Wow, yeah. Where to begin? Where to begin? I've really, yeah, and I've been battling the body. The body's really been revolting to me. It's not been pleasant. So I did actually get myself off to the doctor. But still, just keep it in the family, yeah. So I did actually get myself off to the doctor about my knee and my eating problem. So hopefully I can just eat for a little bit. This life must be really desperate, very bad if I get to a doctor. Oh. has this been going on for? Oh, that's funny. It's like, but it's when you flush your toilet. I mean, this was like way back when that the water from the toilet, poof, how far it spreads onto your toothbrush. Poof. Oh God, yeah, our blessed body. But hey, a a little bit of germs is good. Yeah, we've got it's actually, the more I get into our history, which I kind of know, and I kind of wonder where on earth did we come from, or what happened, or yeah, well, so much was covered up, so we should be a lot further than we are right now, which is okay. We are where we are. Okay. Um, yeah, we're so obsessed about cleanliness. Yeah, it's 6 feet. Yeah, yeah, and yeah. I mean, if you fart, yeah, I mean it's just like a gaseous poo, so it's always gross. Yeah, well, there's many reasons to close it. Josh today, that was like really amazing about the energies. I mean, I've spoken about it a lot, and it's really it's very tough living in this Western crazy, especially if you're in an urban situation, because we have these buildings. Um, which weren't made in love. I know the Romans said that they worked out that the body doesn't like to live higher than three floors. The Germans do that. We do a lot of like really good like laws and things that relate to the body. So, it's kind of follow the rules so you can break them on a mega scale. Yeah. Uh, you know, we are totally we've taken as so many things. It becomes like so much rhetoric, and this whole germ control is it's got out of hand. I mean, that was when in France, up until just after the Second World War, they stopped using rosemary on the ground in the hospitals, because before that the rosemary would change each year. And if you notice, like, people say, oh, the roses are great this year, and next year they're not so great, or is whatever it is. But rosemary particularly, which would cleanse the air, so as they walked on it, it would like detoxify and clean the air and the energy. And as the rosemary grew, as I said, that's why we need to like go be eating a little something fresh every day, because the energies from those great primordial bursts of creation that are coming from the sun, it's a storm of creation happening, are changing constantly, and we need to adapt as quickly as we can. So the rosemary would adapt. So they didn't have that much, like, they didn't have hospital fever. And then they brought in these chemicals. But as they bring in the chemicals, then the germs also mutate. Then they bring in stronger chemicals, and then they mutate even more. And then you get hospital fever and all this other rubbish. Yeah. So a little bit of healthy balance. Yeah. And obviously, if our body is so full of chemicals, I don't know why I'm going this way, but we're going this way. If our body is so full of chemicals, whether it's from our perfume or our deodorant or our toothpaste, or the obvious one is our food or our drinking water, or the dyes on our clothing or our washing powder, or the air we breathe, which we can't do that much about. We can do it inside. You can ionize the air and have filters. I think in America you have a lot of air conditioning. We don't do that. We like to luft. We open our windows like 5 times a day, even in winter. Even in winter. Um, and interestingly, you don't really get that sick in Germany as in colds. It's different countries, different energies. Um, yeah, but then these natural remedies have a hard time to work. Yeah, so the cleaner your system is. When my system was like really clean, if I took like literally a cab, I did it and people just laughed. I could trip out completely on a cap full of Coca-Cola because my body was so clear. So we'll get back there. So just choose however you wish to clear your body. I mean, it's different, and different people need different things. And yeah, some people smoke. Whatever you do, do with consciousness. That's the main thing. Do it with consciousness. It's this is your path, and that's kind of where I had in the back of my mind to talk about, because that's like with all the research and all the diving that I'm doing, I'm like doing the flood thing and this. Just I did mention it, and if Victor's here, just please download it for yourselves. What is it called now? There. The Space Weather app, just so that Victor and some people will be able to understand it a lot more than me. I just want to know how big the energies are, for the reason that I want to be able to go outside and touch the earth so that I can actually get that energy, because the sun is working very hard. I mean, if you have but it's so weird. Hey, I mean, the mainstream don't know about the sun flares. So many people have no idea about it. Some are just starting to wake up, and that's like so typically of the powers that be in England, America, Germany. I'm not sure the rest of Europe. I think they all do quash it. They all hold it down. That they don't want us to know, lest we be free, because this is an intense revolution. And my big saying is, my people perish for lack of knowledge, which you can drop out some words and it becomes people for knowledge. So if we just think of the sun flares, that's huge magnetic energy that is filling us up. Oh, cool. It's okay when we hear you, Millie. When these things get my computer, it needed a rest, so somebody dug through the cables. Oh my goodness, it was such a palaver. Oh, last night there were about 100 people. Oh, thank you, Trista. I don't look at that, but thank you. I take that. I did. I've been working with the flood today. Okay, they know myths. I do not like that word. I'm going to remove it from the dictionary. But I got to like the Americas, okay, and it's very, very clear there. And when I went for my walk with Yuki, we had a lot of visitors. And this place is like quite like a retirement type holiday village with its beautiful lake, etc. I can't remember the number. I think it was 87, but I'll just type in the number plate. What did I do? No, I don't want to do that. Go away. Here was the number plate. So you can't make this thing up. This was the number plate. I think it was 87. It is 87. It's 15. Oh, that would make sense. There we go. No, I thought, no, you can't make this. So in OA, I don't know where that's from in Germany. That's the city where it comes from. And then you can choose the other numbers. Maybe he chose the AK because it looked like Noah's Ark. So anyway, I read Noah's Ark. I don't know if you guys read Noah's Ark. I read it very clearly. So, yeah. So between the sun and the water, it's like the devil in the deep blue sea. No, I don't like that. But it is, yeah. It gets very dark. Noah, what? Noach? What's your niece's name? Noah? Noah like that, yeah. Noah like that. It's a beautiful name. So, well, just yeah, from time back, if you go with the ancients, the sun has definitely been the inspiration, and the flares are hugely the powers of creation, and it's like huge amounts of radiation which ionize the Earth's atmosphere and the magnetic energy, and we are being bombarded with. What did I wrote? It actually was like it's like each if you have a C1, C2, C6 magnetic energy is equivalent to billions of megatons of bombs being like, it's a beautiful Grace, hello Grace, being bombed off at once, and they reach us in 8 minutes. Yeah, so we can. I mean, obviously a little, thank God, hugely filtered, but I don't know. They say that never before, and I do think that never before in the history of the cosmos have we had so much happening down here and around us. So just that's why I think it's like really important to put your feet on the ground, to eat that little fresh thing every day so that you're getting a little real green, because the plants are actually changing constantly and absorbing that energy for us. And magnetic energy, so much radiation. Wow. So much for us bodies. But yeah. So anyway, how's everybody feeling? Joshi, thank you, my beautiful. Thanks for being here. I love you so much. Uh, so for a while, well, for a long time, actually, I was going to put together some stuff that I was doing months ago, and we were doing Venus. And I said, you can go to the Pleiades. I remember saying that to PG's not here today. PG's playing in the leaves right now, like a fox. I hope that he's enjoying the red and gold and yellow energies. So I'm just like pouring forth Venus energy, and just feel like really very strongly about, in between all the research that I'm doing, which is like mind blowing, literally. That's just the water, the Noah's Ark stuff. I've got this my confusion right now, but it's okay. I will sort it out. It'll come. It's like, when did the Nomo come? Was it before or after the floods? Not sure. It's okay. We'll get through it, because I have this brain that can kind of tie stuff together, so, and put a few sparkles in between. Good at tapestry and weaving. I was indeed. Yeah, but for me, it's really just hugely to pour this energy. I pour the water on the earth and work hugely with the water gods, and pray, and not some days are more powerful, some days are not as powerful as others, that I just like, oh, just got to quickly do, just don't forget to do this. But most days they are done with huge amounts of consciousness, that I pour water on the earth and earth codes, and just love and what we would like, and protection, and all sorts of nice things for the earth. And remember, if you're doing it, just like pour in like good stuff, not like I don't want there to be any poverty. So we don't want to put those negative things. That must have been so amazing, Grace. That was such an amazing journey. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, how interesting to have seen them in real. Then they're real, hey? It's just so powerful. Yeah, and that's happening like some days now, what's happening. Yeah, sometimes the sun flares miss us, So even if they're huge, big flares, it depends which direction they're at. So they're not in our direction, but other times we are in the line of fire, of holy creation. So for me, it's just nice to know. I mean, I think I then I understand why everybody else is wobbling. I try not to. I know I do wobble. I do. We all wobble a little bit. Yeah. The last few days, I was really very, very selfish as well. So I just like went into this cocoon of just sweet nothing love, sweet nothing love. And then I thought, no, I must come out. I must. My leg was also sore, so it was really sore. So the leg was doing wasn't letting me walk. So I just thought I needed to rest it. But as I said to the doctor, I can't rest it all the time. I do need to get up. But it was so painful. It was that kind of black stars. Nothing quite like a little bit of pain. Oh, that's so wonderful. Don't you want to come on live and explain that to us? And then the sunspots, because yeah, it's so nice when somebody explains it to you, not just from a. And of course, there's Stefan Burns, who's also wonderful. But I'm really busy just pouring love. So in between all this, the working and the water stuff, so much water stuff, which I know I haven't tuned into the water. I mean, I do my water thing, but I haven't tuned into the water specifically for a couple of days. I've been really just working with the love energy and a lot of the healing energy. There's so much pulsing through again. The Joshua's the ultra of the violet and the green. Just so so just absorb, be open to absorbing that, and just as Josh says, turn it up full blast. Just and yeah, don't forget to put yourselves in a little bubble. It's really, really important. Because as much as for many reasons, all the reasons that Josh said, what was happening on that seat. I mean, it's like secondhand cars with those cloth seats are so gross. And some people are weird, hey, but don't want to go down that line too much. But yeah, it's very important, especially secondhand clothing. Um, Use your bells over things, and when you wash them, I would just put like a cap full of vodka, because vodka really kills those spirits. Vodka is very good. You can wash them in salt as well, but salt doesn't. Not everything likes salt, but it just even a capful, just like energize that and just ask for those energies to go. I have covered that quite a bit, but maybe I'll do it again, because it was like, even with people like their Persian carpets and their antiques are not so nice. Yeah, you have to really clean them. So a bucket of water, I would use frankincense and a good dash of vodka, and then just wipe everything down. But in a state of prayer, yeah, you're really cleaning. You don't have to do it every time, but just the first that you get them, just really clean them. I liked what, yeah, go and really clean it, yeah, whatever stones. And then, very, very most important of all, is just remember to clean your stones, because you tend to maybe forget to clean whatever you're wearing. And remember that gold and silver is also a stone, it's also a crystal. So they also hold everything. And sometimes I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. We're going off on a tangent again. But if you have illnesses and you really want to get rid of them, um, And so a lot of people don't want to remove all crystals, remove all jewelry, wedding rings, everything. No jewelry, no gold, no silver, no crystals, just for a time, just so that the body can get back into balance. Because whatever energy you're working with, whatever metal or stone you have, is shifting the balance of the body, whether you've activated them or not. Obviously, activated is more. And it doesn't help you can't like talk yourself around the fact that you're wearing citrine or something, which doesn't like need cleansing. It's like remove everything and then do the healing process, and then you can slowly add things back. But do we want healing? Yes, there's the big question. Or do it's bravery, guys, right now, where it's really we have to all be dying to our old self, and thank you. And the energies are really like just pulling everybody. It's a constant. It's going to be like this forever and ever and ever, because to move to the next level. And yes, Victor, absolutely. Thank you for that huge reminder. Are you vertical? Cool. Just that beautiful reminder that when things, it's almost at a break, it's that last mile, where we need to just really double down and just push through. And it's like, ugh. And every time you get there, it's something different. For me, it was my body just like, I really couldn't move it. I couldn't get up. It was like excruciating. So it's okay. I actually said, well, that's fine. I'm not going to watch anything. I'll just watch like movies that feel good. What's his name? I can't remember. Move some feel good, happy, no brainer movies, and just was in a big state of love cuddling my dog. And it was really wonderful. And then I couldn't eat. So it was like, oh God, I just want some food. So, yeah, Krista's gone and got all, I said, give me the doctors, give me the good German chemicals to put my body back in balance inside. He just laughed at me because he's quite a natural type doctor as well. But yeah, interesting. He said that with the acid that I have in my body is actually very possibly from the pain and the stress. And I thought, oh yeah, that makes sense, because it is like about 2 weeks. So I was told I can ride my bicycle. I can't walk, but I can ride my bicycle. I can't walk up. I can't walk down the stairs. Can only walk up. I must bounce down the stairs. We'll use my parachute. And yeah, simple, like beautiful advice. So you can use him as well if you have pains, which is like I was doing hot water, but he said fluctuate with between hot and cold water on your thing, on your leg. And the reason, it's Germany's reason for everything. Das Wetter, the weather. Yeah. So use some of those things that I've shared with you. Hot and cold water, drink more water, clear the system out, keep the system in balance. Yeah. So there are just so much love. And I hope you've been feeling it in your ways. And just keep tuning into it more. And you can just like shout at the universe too. But just open yourselves in your space of prayer, open yourselves to the love, to what's happening. That was important. Was the things that work for you. So it's like it's the ingredients that you've worked with, that work for you. So look at like what you're doing. I mean, we go through a lot here, breathing up, and then these things are all important. Breathing up and down your spine, keeping that energy pure and golden, connecting to the top, connecting to the bottom, into the crystalline of Mother Gaia. I am right now, I'll put some up here. Let's see if I can find them. We are they. Well, for a little while, I was really just pouring these energies into Gaia. I felt this intense heartbeat, this pulse. I think many people have felt it. You can hear it, you can feel it. She's really like beating. The, she's always had a heartbeat, but this is my perspective right now. This intense, intense, beautiful, beautiful heartbeat of Mother. Um, and for those of you who've had children or know about the womb in embryo, I just related to that very much. The heartbeat is like starts really, really early. Within the first couple of weeks, you get a heartbeat, and then everything just grows from there. Within the womb, it's all kind of miraculous, and there's not much that you have to do. It's going to do it all by itself. Obviously, you have to look after your diet, and the mother will feel that. They will. The ideal is to prepare your pregnancy beforehand, and both male and boy, the both donors go on a good diet to like improve the quality. But it's like unfortunately 90% of the planet didn't do it that way. But that's okay. Obviously, being made in love is a huge, big bonus. But also, most people on the planet weren't made that way. They were convenient or inconvenient accidents. Things all change. But yeah, so mothers will feel to stop smoking, to eat this, to do that, to get neuro, especially if it's your first baby. Well, not for everybody, but especially if you're conscious and it's for your first baby. You will often feel the space of angels. Choosing the name, coming up with the name is always a very, very sacred thing. Your dream. But yeah, it's good to read all the books. I read like 2 Leaning Towers of Pisa books with my first child, and how you're going to do birth, and you get very emotional, and you feel so attached and so much love to this embryo, and you just want to do the best, best, best for it, and very, very protective over what's growing in you. So you will automatically start working with. Thanks, Victor. Have a beautiful day. So some of us are carrying, we're really carrying like new energies, because it is birthing. There's no other way to say it. We're being midwives. Some have given birth already. And literally, it's working on so many levels. For me, it's just really pouring this energy onto the earth right now, in the form of. I was thinking when I was doing them that they, however they come up for you, and I know so many of us are seeing beautiful things, but a nice reference is the stained glass windows, because they were resonant. There's another whole long story. So whichever ones you're feeling, you can do lots. But I was like seeing them almost as a plate and just energizing them into the earth. And they're just coming down. So I'm not stopping that. There are days that I do it more, or like it's like almost the whole day of doing it, and just pouring this energy. I love this one. Just pouring the energy into the earth. I suppose it also like vibrates hugely to your ancestry. There's my new kingdoms. Yay! This is like very much what's pulsing down from Venus at the moment into our energy. The lotus is always a good thing. But if you don't do roses, a lot of people don't do the lotus. The sacred rose, it's the same, similar thing. Yeah, just pouring, however you see it, But I really do highly suggest that you do. We need it. We need people to be doing this because not enough is happening. As I said, we are so way behind. Yeah, yeah. I was very lucky. When I was young, but I had an Earth mother, and she was very bookish, and she just gave me all these books to read, and I was really lucky. I had like these towers of books. So um, I think at the end you kind of chuck it, but you know what? It's good to sometimes read or to associate with other people. Um, it was, yeah. I mean, it was in the age. It was 80, 79, 80, and South Africa. Like there was when I read about the Leboyer birth. I mean, I just cried and cried. His book on the water birthing. When I mentioned it to people, they were horrified. Um, and I was quite lucky at the hospital that sort of started a midwife section that was more with my son. Um, Lovely numbers, thanks, guys. Um, it's now very common that people have the water birth, but also just remember, and that's always so important to know, is that no matter how much you prepare, things can change completely at the last minute, and whatever you do is. But yeah, just no books. I kind of practiced all the breathing on and off, and then all that got me through my one kid was Humpty Dumpty. I couldn't remember any of the breath. I just like Humpty Dumpty, Humpty Dumpty, Humpty Dumpty. So yeah, there's often a surprise. But so this is exactly what we're going through. So trust our instincts as well. Absolutely. And some of us are hugely called to be midwives at the moment. So that's what I'm feeling right now. All this energy of love. So where's it going? I mean, it's like, where's it going? Yes, it's almost boring because it's just all I want to do is just pour this love and pour it through me and pour it from me and pour it into. I kind of work with the world, but I kind of work with like a couple of main areas as well. This is the portal to Venus. So Venus is also, yeah, she's confused. So let's just go with what she is, the bright morning star for now. And let's just leave Venus as the goddess of love for now. Don't dig too deep. It's like everything, it's, oh no, what's happening? So I do, and a lot of fire. It's like really breaking through. So this is where I see a lot of us right now is just and what's happening is that it was like very much, I mean, for a long time, but very much since last year, that a lot of really holy children are being birthed, um, which is why I like to hold the temples, keeping the spaces sacred, um, because they are literally going to be birthed. So the more energy that we've uplifted around, and the more institutions that are on a higher consciousness, on a higher vibe, the better, obviously, for humanity, especially here in the West. Sorry, guys, we've got so much to battle. Never mind that, Josh bless you. Absolutely. The neighbors, and then we've got all the bullshit that they have fed us. Yeah, I still like to relate to Venus. I say I'm from Venus, but that's just for lack of a better word. Yeah. Um, I will with pleasure. I do. Thank you, Grace. I know some it's some and it's fun. So thank you. And I thought you would. There's another beautiful one. I'm really relating to this. And sometimes, and for me, I'm just like it's the age of innocence. I do with another. This one's also beautiful. This is from my private kind of thing. Which is and we're working these divas, whether the divas are the elementals. So they are, it's not just of the five elements. We have the divas of love, we have the divas of innocence. And so we're calling more and more all the angels, these angelic beings, into our space. And they're coming, they're very gentle, they're very hard to hear, they really hardly whisper. So we have to really tune in again. I was just thinking, it's like it's so frustrating when the energies keep changing. We've had another change of energy, and it's like, I kind of think I know why, so that we don't become complacent or something like that, or that other forces don't get our our points, so we're constantly changing the vibe. We're going left, going straight. Whoops, turn quickly to the left. Oh my goodness, our whole pile is still going straight. Oops, we're changing again. But yeah, we're getting to that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I will, yeah, absolutely. So we're very, and yeah, just like put my 2 billion cents worth to how beautiful that we are and how blessed we are to have Truth Wave, that we have the opportunity to do this twice a day in such a sweet, sacred space. Yeah, yeah. Uh, different cultures, and I like to go back to the Indian stuff always. Um, let's just leave Venus as sweet love, because we like a lot of things. We've got so much BS here. I'm like really hacking away at this stuff. And I think it also put me in a space of, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. Let me just go back to being sweet and wonderful. So just even the other thing, all the myths that are out there. Hey Laura, welcome. I loved your owl. Such a treasure. Yeah, I often think of myself just at the fire at Laura, Lakeside Laura on the lake. Well, let me go back to that other one, because that's what I feel hugely that we're doing. Yeah. And we can't do enough of it, guys. Any moment that you can remember to do it, just do it. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, years ago I would say to people, it's choosing when people the new religions, different religions, and people were knowing. Oh, I love you too, Laura. You're so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I mean, how much energy do we get? We're so blessed. Yeah, we have Lindsay's like out in the middle of nowhere in her little hobbit house, on the property hobbit house. We have Lakeside Laura on the lake. We have Millie and her magical deer in her garden. We have Scotty with his fishing. Yeah. We have Josh just being grounded and practical and wise, and just fighting all the battles for us, Josh. You're amazing. Yeah. We've got an amazing team here, actually. Just falling more. Some days I fall more and more in love with you. And Yeah, love, love, love. And that's all it is, hey. That's the highest power. That's all it is. That's all it ever was. Yeah, the water stuff. Oh, that was just something just because I'm sure that you, well, I don't know, I'm just swamped with so many creation myths. It's myths. I do not like that word. What I offer you to do, any of those myths, is actually read them or acknowledge them as if they are not myths. Because, if you have, for me, it's like, well, I'm dealing with the NOMO right now, so everybody's had the NOMO. So just, I don't know, I went off on a sidetrack today and I went into the Ark, the Noah Ark myths, which obviously was a good thing. Otherwise, the universe wouldn't have given me that crazy number plate. Um, and I'm going around the world. So right now I'm in South America and Peru with those myths, and that the Inca and the Mayan, and they are a lot clearer about the creation, and that it was, and they all say the same thing. Okay, we've just got to like track the dates. Yeah. So that the world. So for some, it was in the time of the fourth sun, or the dryads, or that before the world was run by giants. But so what was going on before that? Before that, we had Mu. Okay, so this is so the giants, but there was something still before. So they all have. We want to call them Nephilim. That's a Bible word. I just like leave that alone. So the earth was populated by giants, and they have found bones all over. They just kind of hide them away. God bless the Smithsonian. And if you look, actually, there were a lot of when they found a lot. I think they're always finding them. They just don't like publish it now. But at the end of the 1800s, yeah, end of the 1800s, early 1900s, there's so many newspaper articles about the bones of the giants that they found in America. Yeah, I'll put them up on Thingamajiggy. Let me put the other one on as that's just, yeah, that one. So this is for me is being, we're the midwives right now. Yeah. Mm. Oh, thanks, Millie. I love the 1, 2, 3. you know. um, yeah, just pouring. For some of us, for some it's not. Some are moving on to something else. But for some, this is, yeah, this one's, it's absolutely beautiful. Hey, yeah, yeah, there's some I don't know why I don't put them all up. So yeah, my apologies for not being more in the world at the moment, but I'm really falling out of the world, and I have to pull myself back in. It's not that easy. I just want to be like in this blissful love right now. Yeah. So we've all got our little things to challenge with right now. Oh yeah. So before, I would say to people, okay, so just imagine that you're at a smorgasbord and you have a plate, and you want a little bit from India, you want a little bit from the Mayans, you want a little bit of Christianity, because most people like us were either Christian, Muslim, or from Hindu. A lot of Hindu, not really Muslims. Muslims don't do much stuff; they do it their own way. But then within Christianity, there's Greek, and then there's French, and then there's all sorts of different like offshoots of Christianity, from the fundamentals, or the Catholics, or the from Mexico. They're another breed completely. Yeah. So just put it all on your plate, and it's like a smorgasbord. And taste it. And if you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. Remember, this is your plate. You don't have somebody, blah, 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 you've got to finish your plate. And if you don't feel like finishing your plate, you don't have to finish it either. But make it real for yourself. So, Angela, beautiful one. So much resonance. Beautiful angel voice. So figure out what, so right now I'm back to the food story again. So as your particular brand of spirituality is your particular brand of spirituality, and make it really true for yourself. A while ago, I was saying that we need to just root and ground where we planted right now, because it's just so important to become antenna for this energy that's pouring in. So, you know, I, I don't always follow my own advice because I fly off to Africa quite a lot. But I am rooted, and it's hard. I just sometimes it's like, oh, it's just too much. But it is what it is, and then it is what it is. So Millie might find that root really where you are, whether you like the space or you don't like the space, or you're going to move or you're never going to move. And for some people, that's just exactly where you're rooted. Grace might find that she's rooted there, and she might have very strong roots in Australia as well. I don't know, she might feel that very connected to the Indigenous people. And that's fine. And even though I know Grace, I hope I'm not talking out of turn here, but Grace has a bit of difficulty rooting in the desert. It's not so easy for her. It just takes like so much energy for me to root here, because the energy is crazy. So it just takes it, but we need to root where we are, just as well as wherever we want to be. And then whatever feeds you. So you're cooking this beautiful meal for yourself, your spiritual meal for today. And you know what? Next week it's different, yeah? Because the seasons change, and next week you're going to not get so much broccoli. You're going to have more carrots or herbs. So just think of it, putting this all together in this beautiful stew, beautiful, wonderful cooking pot. And some people just like meat and potatoes. I do. I used to just love just steak and chips. A little tomato on the side, and a piece of parsley for my salad. And I used to say that tobacco was my vegetable group. That yeah, you see, it's relate, Grace. I don't want to cry because it's hard, but that's where we are. You know, I can close my eye and can live quite happily doing my stuff in Africa. It's much more real than what I do here. So I do fly. Do want to get out the body and fly without the body. So think of those things. What are the things that you want? Because these things are going to be possible. They're possible. Many people are doing them. It's coming round. But we have to also just energize ourselves more and more. How you need to energize yourself. Don't, that's what's wonderful about this group as well, is that we're not, there's no, I don't eat meat, but I will say to you, just eat the best food that you can afford, whether it's meat or fish, or not here to judge. And I don't have to cook because I don't have a family right now. I cook for my dog. He always has a bit of my food. But at the same time, I think that I've messed up my system by not cooking, not eating properly. Yeah. But anyway, so what are the things that bring you, that give you passion to get to God? Because it's like, yes, they give you passion to get to God. Because if you're doing things, oh, I must do my mantra, because it's like 5 o'clock and I must do the mantra for 15 minutes, 108 times. Personally, I think it's, God enjoys it so much more if you just singing a mantra because you actually love it and the love is coming out. It's very difficult to just get in and it's fine for some people. Some people just whatever. But I just feel it's so much more beautiful to come from that space of adoration. So what works for you? What opens it up for you? For me, it's singing. I sing in tongues. I just sing sounds, and I really get transported into these realms quite quickly. There's breathing, so the breath of fire. Um, Holding the breath. A good rule of thumb is just like let your out breath be longer than your in breath. But you don't want to do your whole meditation counting. You want to just do it for a little while. For some people, it's having like guided meditations. For other people, it's being completely still meditations. For some, it's walking. Choose the ones that really are making you sing and make your little recipe for yourself. Obviously, we should include a little bit of moving, so it's walking or bending and easy. And if you're doing things like qigong, really just because we're wanting to shape shift as well. This is where we're going with this. So really yeah. So this is why tuning into everything from a space of love and devotion is so much more beautiful than just doing it from. You'll get there. You will get there if you do it from formula. And that's what I've been saying. This is like where the temples need to be so protected because there are a lot of people that are really strong in will. That it's anyway. I hope yeah. Here we go. Grace sings and hums and dances. Maybe it's having a cup of tea where you just really, one particular cup of tea. For me, it used to be my smoking. It was my time I could really disappear. Leave me alone. It's me and my cigarette and my God. Don't want to talk to anybody, especially when you had to go outside. And I used to really enjoy that evening with my cup of tea on the step with my cat and my dog in the twilight. And I just felt everything was perfect in my world. And my cigarette. Everything was absolutely perfect in my world. And then there was the meditation and the prayer. But that was a very special time, which was just, sitting and being, So yeah, choose and yeah, just maybe it's journaling or doodling. I mean, all of these things are important to do, but like choose the ones, make which is what's really working for you. So, and it'll change. For me right now, is working is just, I just want to just pour all this love onto the planet. And I think that surely I should be doing something else. Just pour this love. Just pour this love. If not you, then who? And I'm just really blessed that I have that space that I can do it. I've got to take my dog out. That's about my only commitment I have in the world. That I have to take my dog out for a walk. That's the only have to thing I have to do. So the longer my walks or sit, just radiate, get so full because we want to just get so full and fill yourselves up with all this love that's out there. Please take time. Please open yourselves to it. Please put yourselves in little bubbles. And often what happens is when you decide you're going to open up to it, you feel completely like blocked off. And that's also okay. You know, try again tomorrow. But this is particularly beautiful. So much beautiful. Oh. So yeah, just tune into the fairies and the angels. I'm gonna cry. Everything's just so beautiful right now. And there's just so much grace and so much forgiveness. And there's a huge, huge, huge amount of healing and cleansing energy again being poured. Um, I don't think ever before, they say never before on the planet at such a high level. But we've also, we've evolved. If you think like back a year or 2 years, how much your spiritual body has absolutely evolved to cope with all this energy, how much whatever you're doing, and it's you. And if you think you this big, then make yourself even bigger. We are absolute goddesses. I'm really missing PG. I hope that he's having an awesome, awesome time. So I'm going to go off now and continue with my water things. Oh, we were talking myths. I think the myths don't come because when I was a kid, I was 9 and went to Switzerland, and I picked up shells in the Alps. So, you don't really think about because I didn't have that story, but it was just so interesting that I have shells or had shells from the Alps, and they were quite high. I was actually just before now, I was just doing in Bolivia how high that is there, and there they also have shells. So we were just talking about that very basic story. So every culture, and if you think how many decades, it's I can cry. It's so sad. How many decades? I mean, my parents had friends. They would talk about this stuff, and they were reading these books, and they were thinkers, and they were just they spent so much time trying to disprove it. But yeah, there were a lot of fakes, and that's always a sad thing in this Western society, that people want the notoriety or the money or whatever. So they fakes in the old cultures. It doesn't exist. It's just taken, it's how you are. So we've got a lot to get through. But yeah, every single culture, every single religion, and the only one that they kind of say that is real is Noah. So they're all very similar, except that it wasn't 40 days. It was more like 40 years. One was 52 years that it rained and rained and rained. And there was also fire from heaven. Whether it came from heaven or whether it was nuclear explosions from here, we don't know quite yet. If it was the annihilation from Atlantis. But things happened so quickly that the waters just, there's one where there's this 2 mile thick ice which just melted instantly, which created these huge, so almost everything was submerged. And a lot of people in almost all the myths were told to build reed boats or hollow out a cypress tree or get into a flute. And some were to save the animals, but most were just to make an ark or a boat. So whether the ark was a ship or not, if you want to go with the Abrahamic myth, but people were told to be prepared for it. So this is what we're telling you, to be prepared here, is to just to get the energy, so that, as I keep saying, that we are conduits on the planet. Because if there are not enough conduits and all this energy comes down, it's like raw electricity. So we're earthing, we're like electrical conduits to hold this, so that the earth doesn't go boom. But yeah, they were so quick that they've discovered mammoths that with still the food in their mouth. And that was that, which I've always found interesting, and I've read it in a few. It came up from the ground as well. Yeah, it came. Yeah, yeah. So they're all right, Millie, and I think that they are personally. I think that it was definitely an abuse of power. That was part of it. Part of it was also the cycles. So there's some very interesting Indian people that I'm following at the moment that are working with astronomy, and they are plotting not astrology, astronomy. They are plotting the stars that they were at the time of the Mahabharata, which was also a nuclear thing. And he's actually pretty much got the date quite clear as to 6,100, almost the year, almost down to the day, just from the stars, because apparently in the Mahabharata, which was also scribed, not written, it was dictated. That was also Ganesha wrote it, yeah. That he talks a lot. I mean, he talks about everything, about the food they ate, the clothes they wore, what the stars were looking. Venus was over here when he went to visit this one, and this one came, tried to make peace, and they all laughed at him and told him they weren't interested. So then there was this big battle, and that is, and what is that city? And it's sunk. And they've just now, the government have just sent out a big expedition again to actually look at it down. Yeah. So yeah, follow what it is. You know what? Don't get. All I can say is just like know them all and take them not with a pinch of salt at all. In fact, yes, take them with a little delicate sprinkling of salt to make them even more delicious. I would just not I'd just like remove the word myth. And yeah, if like everything's myth, why aren't we having Abrahamic myths? Because they are myths. They're all telling the same story, but they've got a little twist. So these are all pretty much similar, and some was that it was like a deluge for like, and just rained and rained and rained for like 52 years. 40 days, you should be so lucky. And then they came out and then they screwed it up. But there was another story also where, sorry, I've got it written. Who was it? Because I don't remember when they talk the Mayan stuff. It's not really my stuff. When it's Chinese and stuff, I will remember. Was it the Inca? They came out and they caught some fish. They all send out birds. And then I can't read my writing because I haven't got a good pen to write with. Okay, it doesn't matter. There was one where then the universe, the source got really angry with them because they caught fish. And then, here it is. Who was it? The Aztec. Oh. Because they caught fish, because they were told to trust, and they caught fish. And the source was not very happy with them because then they cooked it over a fire. I don't know where they got the fire. Maybe that was the problem. So then they were turned into the first dogs. Those were the Aztecs. But yeah, you know what happened with Noah? Noah. I mean, the Bible's full of disgusting stories. You've got to just read them. I mean, how do they read them? Because when they finished with that, then Noah got drunk after the ark had landed, and Noah he drank too much wine. I suppose he had nothing else to do on his boat, and he drank and he's got drunk, and then his daughters came and fucked him. I mean, come on, guys. It's written in the Bible. How do you read that to kids in class? So that's in the book that, we're supposed to all read. So there's a little bit of like incest going on there because they didn't know how they would procreate, how they would find husbands. So he was lying in his nakedness, was old Noah. Pissed as a coot. and his daughters came and had their turn. How there's lots of stories like this in the Bible. I just kind of told you I tend to find these things, you know. Where and then the ant people absolutely took the native tribes that were prepared to live. Well, this is I don't know. Millie, that's I don't know. We could be that. No, the planet wasn't destroyed, but it was very, very wet. And people started to live like some say that they turned into fish. The people mutated into fish people, which I thought was quite interesting. They lived in trees and to the highest hills that they could, and they started to live in trees. The ants, those I'm not sure. I'm still digging with that one. But because there was so much water that they would have got flooded at the bottom as well. Because the flood from the Mayan thing was actually the fourth creation, which that's like, okay, I can like go because I'm feeling this is like my whole big thing that I'm doing, trying to do with timelines. But if we want to catch up, no, it's not. It's and they twisted some of the stories. I mean, that whole Apple story, but we'll get there. It's right, but the only one that's got that twist on it. So lest the people be free, and so so. And all the hell and condemnation, and don't read anything else. That's why I like the Indian stuff, is because there's so many people that have had a good say over it and have like written channeled information, but they're slightly different. So they're not completely different. So there's obviously, but they have their say in the matter. Yeah. And I mean, it's to cooking, to food, to the clothes you wear, to the jewelry you wear. It's all there in there. That's my personal thing. It's in the old ancient Hindu stuff. Well, there's big chunks that are missing out. I mean, the Book of Enoch, but that's also that I think that Enoch has something to do with the Nomo, because he came back and he gave a lot of secrets to humanity. But in the Book of Enoch, it's not always so nicely said. He gave stuff that actually created a lot of, he taught people to make weapons and to do makeup for women. Whereas with the other cultures, where the fish people, the Nomo, they're not always called Nomo, but they're always fish people, or they are Nagas. They have come to a point where humanity needed to be told how to plant crops, how to weave, how to do metal work, how to do pottery, to do farming. And if you look in the West, we've got screwballed, we decided we knew better. But if you look in China, the way that they do those stepped, that was taught to them. They also have their people, their fish people, that came to tell them how to plant and to harvest. The Nomo, everything that they do is revolved around sacredness. So they were taught how to build granaries to store their grain, but they're not just a building. They must face the sun, and they must have the elements within them. So we're getting back. I mean, you don't have to go to the Nomo. You know, Rudolf Steiner is a very good current like thing to bring in with where we want to start building some things today. But yet again, most of his stuff comes from India. Yeah? A lot of his research, prayer, yeah, yeah. So he channeled and he studied. I mean, we won't get through this without some kind of channeling or being directed. But yeah, very, very beautiful, interesting time. So sometimes that's why for me, it's like it's so big. So it's just put love. Love, just put love. Just put love. And I was like raked over the coals a little bit, just like gentle embers a little bit. I was talking about the floods, except the Chinese. The Chinese had the flood, but they didn't get flooded. They had this dude, um, and for 6 years he just dug. They redirected the water, which is where feng shui kind of comes from. So they didn't get flooded. The floods were coming, but he just dug canals and tried to dam it up and dug more canals. And then it still wasn't working. It was still being flooded. I mean, non-stop monsoon, however long you want to do it, 52 2 years, even 40 days, but 40 days are nice. This was a little bit longer than that. The Bible's got time a little weird. And he created all those like canals and waterways. But that still wasn't working, so he went into deep prayer and got like holy sand, holy earth from another planet. He obviously left his body and traveled and came back with it. So because and it's in one of the myths that I was reading, so that wherever you put the soil, it actually just like takes over. So it's like not everything's from this planet. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. I think the thing is just to like be open to everything that you hear in life. I mean, and obviously follow yourself. But we don't have too much time to argue and to have this great good. Who started this flipping must have been the Germans. I'm sure they were very good on talking, the rhetoric. Sounds like a good German word. Rhetoric. Discussing. I watched bits and bits, whatever his name is, Andrew Panji, that brilliant mathematician from India, and he went over to England. Oh, the racism was just, and how he was like belittled and beaten up just for being Indian. And then it was the outbreak of the war. And he had, I mean, they're still trying to prove still working with his theories. He just went into a temple and he just got them. The mother would bring them down for him. Thousands of formulas. And then there's the object, you've got to prove them. He says, but why must I prove them? They work. Why must I show you they're working? I've got other things to do. The Man Who Knew Eternity, I think, is the name of the movie. I've just watched the shorts of it. I was trying to hunt the movie down. So, yeah, Luther, Martin Luther, yeah. Right now, and it's not cooked yet, but is that because Europe was really a mess. Like, this is my question, where did we come from? Europe was an absolute mess. There's almost nothing underground here. There's stuff from the Cathars and all of that, but there's nothing ancient. And if they have found it, they haven't shown it. We have managed to find things like the Venus and what's that? There's that crazy calendar, which I got so excited a couple of months ago when I saw it. They also didn't find that long ago. It's a bronze calendar. It's beautiful turquoise and gold, and they say that was also found here in Germany, and that's like 3,500 BC that they somewhere there, or somewhere there. This has the oldest moving working calendar, so you can plot all sorts of things from it. We had Neanderthal man who was like, who knows the dates, like died out 40,000 years ago. But there's no ancient history here. They were the and even England stole from the little green owl. So these are just my confused thoughts right now. So, and then you had the Vikings. No, 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 no. He didn't. No, he actually translated it. He could have, who knows? He printed it. He didn't translate it. That was part of the printing press. So they didn't like him very much at all because they would tell people all sorts of whatever because people couldn't read. So then with the development of the printing press, and he started the Lutheran Church, that he broke away from the Catholic Church and saying that they were talking rubbish. And they did. They spoke a lot of rubbish to the people. And he went, that was on Halloween Day that he went and he nailed, it wasn't that long ago, I can't remember the date now, 1600 and something, I think. They still do it here. They have the horse come dun, 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 to our little church and to their whole little enactment. Yeah. My neighbors, when I came up, and I just thought, oh God, 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 God. They go to church on a Wednesday. I don't know what church I think they're originally from Poland. I don't know. But they really get dressed up on a Sunday and a Wednesday. Like, seriously. And they've got this young boy who's gorgeous. I mean, he must be about 19 or 20, and he always wears his suit and his little bow tie, and his shoes are perfectly polished, and he's off to church. I don't know what they do. Yeah. Love you, Angela. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I love you all. We'll see you soon. Thank you, beautiful Angela. I think it's a relatively new movie. I must say, I hadn't really seen. I didn't even know that they'd made a movie about him. I will find it and let you know what it is. There's that other one which is also wonderful, and I can't remember the name now, which is about space stations, and how they had African American women working on the maths before they got all the big computers. It's like, but yeah, it's awesome. With I can't think of their name. I can see their faces, but those are quite nice movies. Oh, Linda, well, bless your surgery, love. May you have good surgeons and lots of angels around you, and a good anaesthetist. And may all go in speedy, speedy recovery. Yeah, so I'm still like, so it takes me down, like I don't really like the roads it takes me down because I don't come up with lots of nice stuff in this. So my thoughts right now is that they've managed to quite, if you want to go, because I don't know if you guys know about Tartaria. I mean, that I was looking at that, and now there's stuff out there about that, and how that was, they caused mud floods to actually cover up that work. And that was at the turn of the last century, and that was working with Tesla power. But I've read quite a few like books about that era. It was not nice what they did to Tesla, And to anybody, it was just money, 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 money. Yeah. So they actually squashed, removed, hid, and I mean that's like also, and this is, and what's his face from Russia, Putin, just a couple of last year or the year before, he actually put Tartaria back into the history books. Yeah. So his is not a myth; it's real. Like he's also he was the first one, hugely, to expose dozens and dozens and dozens of Black Madonnas. Because there's lots there. They have had a whole black race there. Denmark was two races. Denmark was black. Got the name, they call them the Black Danes, and then there's the White Danes. So where I'm just still, it's I don't come up at the moment. I'm still coming up with like really unpleasant things. So I just see these like wild guys that run amok, which is that word comes from them, from the Vikings, that would drink this concoction that would make them go berserk. It's also a word from them. So they would go, they were called the berserkers. And they're from the Icelands, you know, and there's very little grows there. So they really went out on a rampage, rape and rampage and pillage. And they would take people from all over Europe, and um, they, they instilled a lot of fear around Europe, and they were big on slaves. Okay. Oh, Grace, it's so beautiful. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot with Tartaria that they actually took the kids away from the parents so that they couldn't like spread the knowledge, and they put them out for a. It's a very dark story. It's very dark. You know, this is our history, and this only happened, you know, kind of yesterday in a heartbeat. So they just keep pushing, pushing down. You know, we shout free energy. Of course, it's free energy, but it's a lot more. It's like, you know. So even if you do stay in an apartment in Germany, they still have it where you can buy a plot of land, and it's communal land, and you buy part of it, and you can go there and plant your vegetables and things. It's far away, and I don't have a car. But they did that during the war, just after the war, all the marketplaces, the market squares, the town square, they pulled up everything and they made vegetable patches. So, I mean, I don't know why. People still do grow a lot of vegetables here, a lot in their gardens. But yeah, we need this needs to be more and more. You know, you can grow on your balcony. It doesn't matter if you live in a flat. So what? For now, so what? You know, just grow. Yeah, just so much. You know, it's a crazy battle because we've also got these frequencies. I think Millie put that up with the water. I mean, you think that we know, we get so excited and we think we're great because now we know about water and its frequencies and you can program it. Do you think that the CIA didn't know this long before we did and have been using it? It's part of that. It's part of that. Something with the Cabbage Patch Kids. Yeah. And the propaganda that Edison put out. He was a nasty bit of goods. And when I was in South Africa, I was like digging up all sorts of things, and I thought Edison was kind of cool. I thought, wow, what an interesting man. But he really didn't develop much. He stole most of the things that he did. I know when you really start digging around. Yeah, looking into so much hidden and just absolutely. So just keep digging and just be careful who you share it with because you don't want to be ridiculed. And that has always been the thing. Yes, the just keep saying the Germans were very good at that. They built a whole war system and a country system out of that, of ridicule. But it goes way back, to people being in the stocks. So they would take them into the town square and put them in the stocks and ridicule them. People would come and throw tomatoes and cabbages at them. So this is unfortunately the history that I'm really trying to find like nice parts of it. The church, the Elizabeth, the Elizabethan era was they didn't bath, really big stuff if they bathed twice a year. So good old BO must have been dreadful. She she had so many perfumes and unguents. Um, um, and she was like totally. I mean, she was uh, arsenic and what's that other stuff? Mercury. I mean, she was amazing that she actually managed to stand up every day. Yeah, some of not that much. Apparently, the Ferris wheel is a big thing that came out of it, but there's not much of the architecture, and that's like it really worked with parts of Europe and America. So they just like caused this whole the mud floods and buried the stuff. They'll say that it was they only did it out of plaster and and then they burnt that in England. That was the Crystal Palace. It's really sad. So this is our heritage. So if that had not been destroyed, we would have been kind of taking steps forward. But the MI5 and CIA and the Boerbond from South Africa and the artists from Den Haag and the Germans, the Germans, the Germans. They go around removing a lot of people because they want to be the technology. Germany's got nothing else anymore. They've got nothing. Got technology. They have no. Anyway, let's not go there. And it gets a little. So I'm trying to like just pour love. It's all. And why? Why don't they want us to be free? Because don't they realize that if they allow the people to have access to the stuff, we can make up our own minds. We don't need to be told this, this, this. We need to be told this and that, and go and make up your own mind. You know. But we got shoved a lot. I don't know what they did here, and I don't know what they really did in South Africa. They didn't because it's also a very like religious type system. But what kind of religion? Die nederduitse gereformeerde kerk was so corrupt. Nobody else except them are going to go to heaven, and nobody else is allowed to go to their church because you're filthy. So what kind of so much rubbish. Whereas like the old cultures, they definitely weren't perfect. In Africa where they weren't perfect. They've unfortunately been trained and learned a lot from the white man. But as I say, take it with a beautiful sprinkling of salt and if it resonates for you, go down that road. If it doesn't, don't. Just leave it. And then ask yourself, why is it resonating? What can I learn from it that I can make my life and the life of the planet better today? Hmm. Oh, thank you, Grace. I felt that. Thank you. Yeah. That's the most important thing that we can do is just to connect. Connect, connect, connect. So let's finish off with a prayer because I'm sure you guys want to go. Thank you so much for this has been interesting. I don't know if it's where I wanted to go, but I know I just needed to be on and this doesn't help to float around in my lovely pink bubble. So it's like I'm on heroin. Ah, yeah. And then, of course, the drugs but okay, they didn't know, but then they did. Ay, 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 ay. What I was also, I mean, there's some things that just like, I find like so interesting. It's like the Chinese developed gunpowder, but they used it for fireworks. They didn't really use it for guns. They didn't want to fight. They used so they had the things would we wouldn't be like now, but there's a lot to be learned from the old ways there. And a lot to also be learned like not to do that, right? Because we're not a whole bar. The peasants, as my Oma would say, when the peasants rise, the earth begins to tremble. Hmm. Ah, yeah. So let us just end off on an invocation of Venus, the portal of love. So just breathe and sorry, it kind of rushing to the end. And then, of course, the beautiful cultures like Japan. You know, I love what Japan is beautiful. Anyway. I am the radiant flame of the morning star, the rose of infinite dawn, the pulse between every heartbeat. From my heart flows the first light of love, soft as breath, eternal as the tide of stars. I am the memory of tenderness before form, the whisper of creation before the world began. I call to you, children of earth, keepers of beauty, midwives of the new Eden. Open your hearts like the petals of the cosmic rose, and let the perfume of remembrance return. Through this portal of Venus, the rivers of compassion pour. Through your hands, the golden streams of grace awaken the sleeping earth. Through your eyes, the sacred shines again in all things. Let every tear become a drop of holy water. Let every breath become a prayer of healing. Let every act of kindness open another petal of the great rose. For love is the architecture of the cosmos, the geometry of the stars, the song that holds all life. Step through, beloved ones, into the temple of Venus, into the light of pure devotion, into the eternal embrace of the Mother. And as the planets turn and the suns rejoice, the rose of Venus shall bloom within your chest, reminding all beings, love is the law, love is the path, love is the return. And so it is, and so it has always been, and so it shall ever be. Amen and amen and amen. Thank you. So I'm just going to cry because it's lovely. So I'm going to go and have some beautiful tears. And I love you all, sisters and brothers. We all midwives. You don't have to be a girl. I shall post this up. Love, 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 love. And we will see you. Just be a channel. Bless you all, beautiful ones. Have the most beautiful, amazing, wonderful, exciting, and very beautiful day. I have to find out where I can end this.